All right.
Hello and welcome to the Mat to Mastery podcast, where we link leadership and jiu-jitsu, revealing parallels between growth, adaptability, and resilience. I am your host, Sheb Gina, and it gives me great pleasure to invite inspirational leaders within the martial arts domain, where we explore how jiu-jitsu principles translate to leadership. Throughout these interviews, our aim is to learn how martial arts mindset empowers individuals to conquer life's challenges, illustrating the power of Jiu-Jitsu's philosophy in both personal and professional mastery. And now I would like to introduce you to a very special guest, Mr. Frank Barca, and just a little bit of bio information on Frank, just a little. He has been training annually at 10th Planet Jiu Jitsu headquarters in Hollywood since 2006, where he has had the opportunity to train with MMA Legends and elite Jiu Jitsu and MMA fighters at Legends Gym. Over the years, Frank has returned to LA 14 times to learn and train under his master, Eddie Bravo, the founder of 10th Planet Jiu Jitsu. Frank Barca is the first Australian to fully embrace the submission strategies of 10th Planet Jiu Jitsu and has been training this unique style in Melbourne. His journey began in 2006 when he traveled to Hollywood to experience 10th Planet Jiu Jitsu firsthand and found it to be highly effective. Frank has been a regular on the 10th Planet Jiu Jitsu mat under Eddie Bravo's guidance and was awarded 10th Planet Jiu Jitsu Affiliation and his Bluebelt by Eddie Bravo personally during his third trip to LA in October 2008. The affiliation was granted based on mastering the 10th Planet Jiu Jitsu system, years of grappling experience, proven mat sparring application, and competition. As an affiliate, Frank became the first person outside of America and North America licensed to teach authentic 10th Planet rubber guard, twister, half guard attacks, and other specific techniques. Frank Barca has been Eddie Bravo's first generation student since 2008, receiving rankings from white belt to black belt solely from Eddie Bravo. He was the first Australian and the first in the Southern Hemisphere to achieve this. Oh my goodness, I can keep going on these massive achievements. Welcome to the Mat to Mastery podcast, Mr. Frank Barca. Yay!
Oh, thank you, Chef. Big hello to you, of course, and all the listeners. It's funny, I haven't heard anyone say that. I haven't heard anyone go through that with me before, quite like that. It's quite, it, um, it really hit me. It really hit me.
Really?
That's amazing. It's been such a journey. It's been such a wonderful experience and a privilege to have those moments next to my name. It's just I'm very proud of it for sure. A lot of hard work, of course, but I don't usually, the best leaders or the greatest leaders I've been around, they don't have time to think about. They don't have time to think about what they do. It's just got to keep going. You just got to keep going. It's just forging forward. It's a forging forward process. It's not a stepping back process at all. It's holding the fort, it's holding the line, it's maintaining balance, and it's just forging forward again and charging again, and maybe just a bit of recharging and a bit of recovery, and then pushing forward again. Listening to that is it's just really, I wasn't expecting that. Anyway, that's a beautiful introduction. Thank you very, very much, Sheb. That's just beautiful. It's great, and it's a privilege to be on this podcast. I was very excited when you contacted me on Friday. I was just getting ready to. Was it Friday? Or was it Thursday? Was it Friday? I can't remember.
Doesn't matter.
But I got so excited. And I was just getting ready to go to Adelaide because we had a very, very special occasion and an event in South Australia. And South Australia is a very dear place for me personally. I have a lot of history over there over the years since I was a young man. So to have an affiliate school there and have my students there and to crush it the way they are and lead by such a great example is really amazing. So here we are, and I'm not surprised. A podcast based on leadership and using the principles and experience from jiu-jitsu and martial arts training, from the classroom to the concrete to everyday life, is just such a blessing. It's the cheapest most discounted personal development program ever. I mean, you think about it, you might pay, $2,500 a year mat fees, and you can train multiple times a day, every single day. You can literally abuse the system, and you just come out like better than any. I mean, Tony Robbins is amazing, and all those guys are amazing, but you know what I mean, Sheb? You're on the mat, you know what's up. Like, you get crushed, you get smashed down to nothing. Like, Jiu-Jitsu is unforgiving. It's the most realistic thing ever. I mean, it's real. You make a mistake, you pay with either they submit you an armbar, leg lock, or they choke you out. And tapping out means stop, please, before you kill me or break something. It's not, nothing's more real than that. So thanks again for having me. It's just
my absolute pleasure, and thank you, brother, for being here and making the time. I know your time is super valuable, so I really appreciate it. So I'm wondering, given the amount of years and expertise and the unforgivingness that you got to experience on the mat, if you could reflect, and I know you've got many years to reflect in just a short period of time, but what has been, if you could put it down to say one key word, what has been the biggest, I guess, revelation that you experience? What has been the biggest insight that you have been able to take from the mats that you were able to then incorporate in your leadership outside of the mats?
maybe not one word, but maybe a statement, if I may.
Of course you can.
Giving is definitely getting. You get what you give. So, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that surrounds that shit. Discipline, persistence, perseverance, no quit attitude, just rising up again. I used to have this necklace. I lost it recently, and I was so depressed over it. And it was made of whalebone, and it was given to me from a healer. And it was an eagle with its wings down, and it was flying upwards. And I was wearing on this beautiful necklace. And I always reminded me to just keep rising, just keep rising, just keep rising, just pick yourself up, fall down 7, get up 8, all that stuff, So you get what you give, And on the mat, giving 100% effort. And in some days you don't feel like that. When I say give 100%, it's the days that you don't want to give anything at all and you give a little bit. That's 100% to me, because you could have easily just balked it and stayed home and just been a flop. But instead, showing up. I mean, I've got to tell you, today I just come back from swim sprints. I was just telling you about that before we went live. And man, I just got off the plane. I didn't sleep great. I had a cracking headache. My neck is sore. I just got in the car and I thought, screw that. I'm going to do what I do. I don't care what my weekend was like. I didn't care what my schedule was disrupted, whatever. I just went there and I smashed out those 20. I did 20 25s on 50 seconds. Just killed myself in that pool. Because it wasn't my greatest performance, but what are my students going to say? Hey, coach, when do you sometimes not feel like doing it? I'm like, are you kidding me? Like 8 out of 10 sessions, I feel like not doing it. I could easily put my feet up and watch reruns of Friends or The Simpsons or something like that, for sure. But no, what do we do? What do us leaders do? We get out there and we maybe put the coffee on or whatever it is that you do, your drug of choice.
Agreed. And when you come to terms with that, when you do experience moments of, I don't feel like going, I prefer to watch reruns of Friends, what do you tell yourself?
Just get out the house. Just leave. Just leave and get to that destination. Get out there and just get to that mat. Get to the mat. Get to the next class. Get to the pool. Get on the bike. Get out. Just go. I pick myself up because in that moment, if I sit in that moment for another 30 seconds, I ain't leaving. So you got to move. Movement is everything. I used to run a lot back in the day. I used to do a lot of running, and because I've a lot of things that weren't on that bio, by the way, too. But anyway, I come from a running background. I'm a 2-time Australian Ironman triathlete as well. 2 races, 2002, 2003. I was in the top 10% of my age group both times. I tried to qualify for Hawaii, but I missed out. But my brother did. He did amazing. And, one of my coaches said, look, if you decide that you don't want to run, then what you do is you get in your gear, you put your shoes on, you put your singlet on, you put your shorts on, and then see how you feel. So I was like, man, that was so powerful for me. So just get in your rash guard, just get in your ice skates, just get the tennis racket in your hand, get in the car and just start driving. And even to the point of driving, listen, to the pool this morning, even I was trying to find an excuse to not go, and I'm driving there. And this happens to all of us. We're human. You know, our energy levels are up and down sometimes. You know, there's lots of things, you know, alcohol. I mean, I had a few drinks. I don't drink. Me and alcohol, we haven't got a great relationship, you know. It's a lot of fun, but it's not a good relationship. You know what I mean? It's not a long-term relationship. So I had a few drinks to celebrate. Some of my students are being real naughty and misbehaving, and they're shoving, you know, fireball down my throat. And I'm like, oh man, please stop. Give me another one. So, you know, I'm paying for it, but you got to get out of the house and just keep moving. And that's worked for me. Many times.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's worked for you many times too. You're a mom and a business owner, you know.
Gosh, yeah. But 14 times of traveling to and from the US. At what point did you ever think to yourself, man, is this the right thing? Am I doing the right? Like, was there any time during that process where you ever doubted yourself?
Not once. Because I knew exactly.
Go on.
I knew exactly what I was getting myself into, because I was at a crossroads in my career where I was like, man, I can't do this much longer. I was in classical karate under one of the most prolific, one of the most respected and authorities on the civil fighting traditions in the world. And let me tell you, I didn't know how I was going to keep going. I just thought, man, I'm not going to just die as this, you know, this old black belt in this dojo with 3 students. I knew I was destined to do greater things, and I'm not saying it wasn't great experience or I didn't learn a lot, which I obviously did, and it prepared me completely. And that's another conversation with discipline and hard work and just getting tough, just becoming so gritty and tough and just unrelenting and just, you know, just easy is not an option attitude, adapting and overcoming so much adversity. I mean, karate was just so unforgiving. I mean, I did a 30-man kumite when I was 21. Like I said, I'm a 2-time Ironman triathlete. I've been running a business since I was 15, teaching out of my driveway. I've just been pushing myself my whole life. So I was at that point, and then, you know, I had an opportunity to go to LA, and I met Eddie, and I just walked in there just to have a bit of a break, really, just to leave the shores of Australia, because I was chasing jiu-jitsu, and no one really was being so nice to me down here when it came to that. Because, you know, the groundwork was the last frontier for me, because, you know, multiple black belts in multiple legitimate martial arts right across the board. Very difficult, arduous years and decades in martial arts. Not 3 years, 2 years here. Like I'm talking 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 15 years, 13 years, all this stuff. And I was just like, I just got to freshen up. So I left. And I bumped into Eddie, and I walked around. I was like, man, there've been Aussies through here? Yeah. And he was rattling off some names. And I knew these people. And I'm like, what? Like, people have come through here and they've gone back home and didn't realize what was going on here, and thinking, look at the brilliance and the uniqueness and the niche-iness of no-gi jiu-jitsu. And I was the first person out of LA in the Southern Hemisphere to go, I'm gonna open a no-gi school as a blue belt. Are you crazy or what? Well, yeah. So when I was so I really was affected by the virus that Eddie gave to me, you know, about the love of no-gi. And I always loved the no-gi, because even in my karate days and my striking days and my self-defense days, I never relied on collar and sleeve and, you know, any of that ever. I just liked getting in close, getting in control, because I'm a small guy. So getting inside, I would eat 1.5 shots on the way in just to enter, just to get in. I have to try and avoid some real bad damage and then get inside. So getting up close to my opponents is something I really like to do, and grabbing a hold of them, you know, just like a boxer. If he gets hit with a shot and he staggers, he's going to grab the guy so he can't hit him anymore. And that made sense to me as a small person. So I liked using my arms to wrap a person up, using my legs, my body, just being like a little, like a deadly little koala. You know, I like that. So anyway, I'm trying to give you some pretext, you know, context, right? So when I met Eddie and I saw what was going on, it took me 2.5 seconds to realize that here it is. Thank you, universe. Thank you, universe, for putting here all the hardness, all the hardship, and all the, oh man, the craziness that literally pushed me out of my own country to find Eddie and go, I know what I'm going to do now. And I kicked those airplane doors open in 2006, because only officially from 2008. But 2006, I met Eddie, and I went 3 times before I got my affiliation and my blue belt. That was my 3rd trip. I got thrown on my head, separated my shoulder badly, and came back. Yeah, I came back with an affiliation, a blue belt, and a broken shoulder. yeah, the universe. So, no, I never went back. Is this for no? I came. You asked the first 3 times I went, I came back broken, like the 3 times, and that never stopped me. That never stopped me. I was like, man, if I can just work this out.
Wow.
My family's looking at me like, are you kidding me? Right? I'm like, nah, just one more. So I went back 14 more times. I went twice in 2009, 2010. Because I wanted to get the evolution from January to June, and I wanted to get the next lot from July to December. I didn't want to miss out nothing. I had FOMO before FOMO was even FOMO. Like, I'm pre-FOMO Frankie, right?
I love this. Go on.
So, no. The answer is no. No, Sheb.
Oh,
Never.
man, your tenacity, your drive, your ambition, you've just inspired me big time.
Keep going. Hey, listen, motivation short-lived, Sheb. You know that motivation is just, it's part-time, man. But, to be inspired,
Oh, yeah.
inspiration lasts a lifetime, like your family and, even your parents' pursuits, how they came over on a boat, and then built their dreams and raised us kids and then gave us these opportunities and taught us how to fly. It's just, that inspires the shit out of me, and I bump into people in daily life that I watch their struggles. I'm at the pool a lot, and I have some very, very close friends too that have like special needs kids, and nothing makes me appreciate my life more than when I go to the pool 3 times a week, because I do that to swim sprints and whatnot, and just for conditioning on the side. And I see groups of them with their families and their carers, and they've got big smiles on their faces, and they're super excited to be. And I'm just like, and I look at their parents or their family that are there, because most of the time there's carers, but often there's also the parents, and the parents they're like 70, 75 years old with their 50, 60-year-old son or daughter that needs them all the time. And it's unrelenting. That it doesn't stop. They don't have breaks and holidays, and they don't have time off and weekends. And it's just complete dedication to their children.
Right.
So I get, you know what I mean? Like inspiration. And I'm going to go and swim sprints, and I'm complaining because I've got a sore neck and a headache because I've just been celebrating in Adelaide with some beautiful people, and I've got to go and swim sprints. Oh, poor me. Are you kidding me? Get in the pool. Hurry up. So inspiration for me, that's just one example, by the way. And I get inspired by a lot.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Inspiration, man. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, no. I can't hear you, Frank. Your audio is disconnected. Hang on. Oh, no. Say again. I couldn't hear you. I can't hear you. Do you want to log back in and log back out? Is that what you meant? Stop recording. Oh, that would. Yep.